And a good Monday afternoon, Roger Hill at Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Broad picture right here. We can see the sort of these brown colors here. This is the 500 hectopascal heights or thicknesses, and we have generally a west to northwesterly flow now. None of this north-south meridional flow, but needless to say, we have a trough of lower pressure, and out ahead of it, a little weak area of low pressure, and at the surface, it's enough to bring us some snow, and that's what's occurring right now, and this will be picking up gradually as we get into the later part of the day and into a portion of this evening before it moves on out fairly quickly. It's probably good for anywhere from around 1 to 3 inches across northern areas, and maybe a little bit more, maybe a couple 3 inches, 4 inches in the southern parts of Vermont. But it's not going to be any kind of great shakes, although we're seeing the snow a little bit on the wetter side. It's still not enough to have any worries and no influences in terms of any kind of power issues associated with that. The overall conditions are going to be such that we see a weather system just about every day. So it's a very busy weather pattern, but no one system is really super duper strong. We have a little bit of a gradient wind issue on that will develop, it looks like, on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And then the next one along about Saturday later in the afternoon into Saturday night. That one has the potential to see wind gusts exceeding 50 miles per hour, but it's a long ways off, and it could get whittled back in terms of its velocities. Let's take a look at the incremental models. And this is the weather system that's now working in across mainly southern Vermont. It's a little bit heavier in terms of precipitation amounts, but again, it's not going to be a big deal. It swings on through, and this is valid about 10 o'clock this evening on Monday evening, and then it pushes on out of here, just a little bit of leftover flurries into the overnight period. A little weak ridge of higher pressure then pushes on in, and it's very short-lived. It's not going to give us much in the way of any kind of a decent day, as tomorrow we have this next little clipper system that kind of works on through. It brings us a little lighter amount of flurries, and then finally a ridge of higher pressure will build in on Wednesday. It's a very weak ridge, so there's going to be a fair amount of cloud cover. This Alberta clipper system, this next disturbance, is going to push on in, and that's going to affect us, it looks like, along about Wednesday night. As that moves on in, it may have a little bit of mix of rain associated with it, and this will be a little bit of a wetter snow. By the way, during the day on Thursday, just out ahead, we have just a little bit warming that's going to be taking place, and daytime highs could reach 40 degrees, and this could get a sap run started for sugaring. That system then, that Alberta clipper system, again for Wednesday night into the morning hours on Thursday, that pushes on out. We have a colder area, a colder dome of higher pressure, and basically the roller coaster ride is going to be for Wednesday, and then we're seeing that colder air beginning to work in on the later part of the week. So by the time we get that area of higher pressure begins to build in here, this is going to be valid for Friday. It's just about centered just about right overhead. It's fairly strong dome of higher pressure, pushes away, and then we get this next weather system, a little bit more southern latitude, a little bit more warmer air with it, and that'll push in on Saturday in the morning hours, and there could be just a little bit of a mix in some locations along about Saturday, but right now it's just too far out to get too accurate with. 3-hourly QPF shown from the GEFS, the GFS ensembles. And what you can see here is today's precipitation is a little heftier than the others to come. This is tomorrow night's, and then followed by Wednesday night into Thursday with that cold front. Finally, high pressure builds in. This is when we see our colder air, but also dry air and some decent sunshine once we get into the day on Friday. And that'll probably linger into the day on Saturday. And then as we head toward the weekend, we see a little bit more of precipitation types. The total all said and done looks like this in terms of QPF. It's really not a big deal. Again, here's 1 inch amounts. So the black line is the averages here. The blue line is the deterministic model of the GFS. Not looking at anything major, less than 1 inch amounts. Still fairly suppressed storm track, 3 inch amounts, generally in this particular area, sort of interior, not quite the Gulf Coast, but southern portions of the U.S., and then that kind of works into the northeast. Switching to temperatures now, this is how the latest indications, this air mass that was very, very, very cold is still kind of almost coast to coast, but it's modified considerably. The warming trend has taken off from the Chinooks that have moved across Canada. Those Chinook winds, a downsloping wind off the Rockies, and it has made for anomalous warm temperatures, as you can see here. It's chilled down in some parts of the Arctic, and this will probably work its way southward at some point with the next sort of roller coaster ride. 2-meter temperatures, and you can look at the chart that's created with the hand-plotted European and the NDFD temperature scales. Now, what we have here in terms of 850 hectopascal temperature, it's below freezing, so this is all snow and no rain indicated. That warm-up across the country is indicated here. This is meteorological output statistics over the next 5 days. These are max temperatures only. Note a little bit of a cool down here, still minus 12 in some parts of Canada. This is projected weighted temperatures. 3 days later, it looks like this. And we're kind of in that neutral. So neutral, just about near normal in terms of that. Now, also the plot of North American snow extent, kind of interesting to see it go very, very high. This has a whole lot to do with what happened last week with snow all the way down into northern Mexico. And so the 2020-2021 total snow is really punched upward. I expect to see a pretty drastic fall now that it's melting out. Leave you with this. This is our current snow that's working into the region here, and what you can see is it's starting to make it across the region. This is how temperatures are set up. Thanks for watching. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.